Hey guys, it's Avondale, and welcome back to Behind the Walls, where I take you behind the walls of the Noxcrew Gameshow. I'd like to remind you, as always, if you haven't seen today's episode, make sure to go click the link in the top right-hand corner of the screen and watch it so we don't spoil it for you. Now that you've had time to do that, you'll notice that today I am at another signless game, but it's Quickfire, and with me for today's episode I have Spectator Guy, and also Gregan.
Hey!
Hey,
how you doing?
What are you, cheering for the red team?
Yeah, go Noxcrew.
Oh, alright.
Great game.
Wow, you're cheering for us. I have to say, your form is pretty bad in comparison to Spectator Guy. I mean, he is able to not only hold the sign out in front of him, but also to point his other arm up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do my left arm when I go to the gym, so I can only hold things up in one arm.
Yeah, when you go to the gym, sure. Okay, so we're here today at Quickfire, and I brought Gregan along because Gregan was the first person to really work on this game, and it was his baby for a while, but we were just talking about it, and we realized you didn't come up with the initial idea, did you?
No, there was a guy, Mr. Tomato Man, on the forums who, after the Football World Cup, which was ages ago, he suggested we make a game based around where you do laps of a course and then shoot into a goal based on how many laps you complete. And so we kind of changed that into this. And originally there was a different mechanic to scoring at the end.
Yeah, so let's talk about the initial idea for the game real quick. The idea was that you have an obstacle course to run around here, like we ended up keeping. But when you got to the end, you would either get points per lap, or Gregan's original idea was you get to this point here where you try to shoot a goal against a goalkeeper. So basically the idea was you had two people from the defending team working these buttons, and then the third person was their goalkeeper trying to prevent it. And you'd have a really similar admission system to the goal like we had in Quickfire. But then you would have, 10 seconds or 5 shots or whatever to try to score goals on the goalkeeper. And actually, I set up our last test again. We had deleted it, but I just rebuilt it. So let's head out there real quick and check it out.
Yay!
Okay, so Quickfire's up there, and we are down here. This is the basic idea we had. So let me start this up real quick. I'm going to go ahead and grab myself some chicken eggs, some cow eggs, and some squid eggs. And for some reason the squids are being weird, but basically I have just a clock set up here, and this is what we were trying to do. We were trying to simulate a goal scoring method. So you would get these blocks, and this would have been set up something like this with quartz stairs real quick. I don't know why we didn't think to build that in there, but basically the idea was the only place that you would get the ability to place these on the redstone blocks only. So the idea was that I would stand here and place these blocks and try to score them. So you see there I scored with the second chicken. And also behind there we have our high-tech killing chamber. I did that out of laziness. But sort of the idea here is, if I get 5 shots, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Gregan stopped 2 of them, but I got 3 goals. And then the idea was, different mobs would move at different speeds. So if you got a cow through, they would have been instant kills. But if you managed to get a cow through, it should be worth more points because its hitbox is so much bigger. Then look at the squids. I don't know why they don't work. They're just so funny. But this was kind of the idea, was to do something like this. And I mean, we had so many hesitations to do it this way, didn't we?
Yeah, there was multiple reasons. One being lag, because different people would be able to do goalkeeping differently. There's also the spamming going on. That if you just spam them all at once, it would be the best way to fire it, and it would be the quickest way for them as well.
Yeah.
So it would stop people being tactical and placing them in the corners like Avon did originally.
Yeah, there's just no really great way to do that. Another interesting way we could have done it is with gas fireballs. We had that idea as well, but just nothing quite seemed to test out right when we tested it. And it got to the point where, Gregan was like, come on, let's redstone this, and I'm saying, but it's not going to work this way, and we had to start over entirely, basically, is what it came down to. We kept the obstacle course, but we started the game idea over. And if you'll remember a couple episodes ago when I was talking about Yeti Set Go with Emos, I mentioned that when I tried to do the biathlon thing, I turned that into a different game. And this was that game, so let's head back up there and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, so we started discussing the biathlon type of mechanic, and we realized that if we did it that way, we could keep all 3 people on the course at once if we had the right system in place to prevent them from getting through. So we basically, the first thing we did was we just built a couple of targets into this area and we play tested it, and it turned out to be just instantly interesting gameplay to watch. And that really was what sort of fueled this game and made us want to really make that final push to get it on the game show for this season.
Yeah, and originally the targets were a lot easier to get. It took us a little while to work out what was needed from that. And part of the reason why we didn't want to do fancy targets, because the building originally only went up to here.
Yeah.
And then without World Edit and Voxel Sniper and anything like that, we had to then make this huge shooting area out the back here. And that took us a fair while. But it was kind of our naivety of we can't possibly make the game bigger than the original building. And then we were like, why not? Just break it open and create an open shooting range like this.
Yeah, no kidding. And that was sort of what we came up with, and I'm still sort of debating if we made the targets the right difficulty or not. We originally had... Didn't we just have 10 of them, or we had 12 or something?
We had all of them except for the purple ones, but we had this one at the back.
Yeah, and it was just... It got over a little bit too quickly for our liking. We had a couple teams that did it in about 2 minutes, and we didn't want to have that happen in the actual episode. So we ended up adding in... these, and we moved them around a little bit to make sure you could shoot every one of them. And I'll tell you, the tests were varied, but the game ended up playing out at the right time that we were anticipating.
Yeah, the purple targets definitely were the limiting factor on the speed, because I mean both teams blitzed through the green and to a certain extent the yellow ones as well.
Yeah, while you're talking about that, I'm gonna start trying to shoot them back here, because I want to show people sort of the, like, this is a long shot, right? And this is how high up you have to aim to get it anywhere close to that back one. You see there, I hit it, but if I shoot a couple more times here, you see I had that in the same exact place. We'll aim at that block right there, and I'll let it go, and you can see, like, just how far away this is. The bow spam really gets you, and that's what makes those targets so tough to hit. As I nail another one. Okay, so we've talked about the origins of the game. I want to go through just a little bit right now and talk about sort of the different obstacles that we had, because this game went through such a huge variety of obstacles before we came up with ones that we actually liked.
Yeah. And I mean, interestingly, this first one was pretty much unchanged, except for the slight slope.
This was the only one that lived. Basically, it started out all at this height, though, and the idea behind it being all that height, I forget why exactly we had it up there. Didn't we have, like, a ladder that you climbed up at the beginning? And I just,
yeah.
it seemed like it slowed it down too much, so I suggested we incline this a little bit. Which made it pretty, it's a lot nicer to look at, and it speeds up the flow a little bit more, because there's not so much swimming and climbing when you complete a lap.
Yeah, and it just gives a bit more depth to the game, because I mean, from the start you kind of gaining height at this point, and then you gain it a bit more, then you go on a flat bit, and then you come back down, and then come back up. It just makes the players go up and down a bit more.
Yeah. Now I actually don't remember what you had in this obstacle initially. Do you?
It was a hopscotch, wasn't it? There was various pillars.
Oh yeah, so you had them on, like, fences or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
And so, like, it would be like this, for example, and it was just like a field of them, wasn't it? And so
it was kind of like a zigzag of them.
Yeah, and you were all over water when you did it.
Yeah.
It was too difficult to sabotage through that part. I think you had, like, random blocks being removed entirely. And
it was a water cannon that was like a little thing that would fire up a water source block, so it would affect your jump.
Oh yeah.
But it just wouldn't really work in a visible, obvious way.
Right. So we scrapped that idea. We replaced it with these stairs from Picture Panic V2, which I love, by the way. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on my channel, but I talk about it all the time in the Noxcrew. I think these are the coolest speed obstacles that we can do in games, because the way that they're lined out, everybody wants to try to do them this way, where they run around the edge and go up, and then run around this edge and then go up and back and forth. But you can actually do them way quicker if you, and I'm having trouble here because my screen's freaking out, but if you do this, you can actually like blitz through them really quick just by jumping back and forth. And it's one of those things that if you practice, you can, like, legitimately doing it that way versus doing it the other way saves you probably 8 seconds on that obstacle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm still kind of on the fence over the explodey fireballs. I don't really know that I like them that much as an obstacle in here, but they certainly made the game entertaining to watch when people get flipped up.
I think that was the main reason why we kept it, was because when we tested it once, someone went absolutely miles, didn't they? They actually went into the stand over here.
Yeah, we blew somebody into the stand, and that's why this glass wall is up here.
And we just thought that was a hilarious consequence of the obstacle, so we kept it in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to be fair, the people who landed up here and ran up and jumped, that was totally intentional. We wanted to allow teams to use that as a shortcut if they did jump up there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of shortcuts,
yeah, this next obstacle originally was quite a basic obstacle, and then we kind of made it more and more in depth. So at this point here, we had to create a wall to stop them just swimming directly across.
Yeah, initially, didn't you have it as just like a sea that you ran around, and then like were there jumps? I don't think there were jumps at all. It was it was just a
curve,
dodge the arrow type of deal. And when I said, you know, we need to change that, we need to give them something to do through here, the jumps made it so much more technical that people would just get in the water and swim straight through and skip it all. And that was why we added in this wall here, but also into the geometry we added this shortcut jump right here, which we pointed out, Lemon actually tried it during the game, right?
Yeah, but they got taken out just here when they tried to do the first bit of the jump.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where if you can catch the person sleeping, like on the first lap, you could probably make it through, and it saves you a ton of time if you can. But it's also so easy to shoot them when they're coming across here that was why we decided to keep it in.
Yeah, and to be honest, if someone worked that out, it was worth the fact that they could skip that bit.
Absolutely. Let's see, this obstacle was... oh man, this was a nightmare. I mean, this was... not that this was a fantastic obstacle, but it was better than every single attempt we had at this.
Yeah, we had various iterations of this pushy wall thing, and I loved all of them, but it just wasn't fun for the camera.
It wasn't even, like, it wasn't challenging, because it was one of, like, the first thing we tried to do was the, you know, the wall where, like, this block would push you, and then this block would push out, and then this one would push out. So you're basically running to try to beat the wave wall behind you. And pretty much everyone would get knocked off, and then they would land in the water, and it was weird for the cameras because the wall was all the way over here, and this water was this wide unnecessarily. Mouse is freaking out again if you saw that spin around. So we didn't like that, so we completely got rid of it, and we tried something else. And we thought about using slime blocks, but we had already used them up there, so we didn't want to double up on them. And then we tried the wave wall again, but we tried it in 3 steps. So if you fell off the first one, you get pushed onto the second one, get pushed onto the third one. Didn't like that either, so we got rid of it entirely. We had a series of jumps that had pits in them. We tried a hurdle jump where the hurdles moved up and down, and that was a sabotage, but that was bad for cameras. And then in the end, we decided it was all way too complicated. We ripped it all out. And we just did this simple jump right here.
Which definitely is, when we first came up with it and we were working out the delay, I was saying to you, I was like, this is pointless because they're always just going to get knocked off. And you were like, oh, I'm sure they won't quite work it out. And Ungentlemen were able to get through so many times, which surprised me when I saw that. But then, in the reverse situation, Ungentlemen were just standing laughing at the first one and going, "Bip, that's 1, bip, that's 2, and a triple."
Yeah.
And it was just the fact that one team couldn't work it out and the other team worked it out to the point where they could get anyone.
Yeah, and to be fair, we messed with the timing on this a lot to try to get the most balanced timing, and it probably took us about 6 different adjustments before we got one that we were happy with.
Yeah.
Really, in the end, I was pretty happy with how this obstacle turned out. I think it used the space better than anything else we tried.
Yeah, definitely.
And that brings us on to the bouncy slime blocks, which is literally my favorite obstacle I've ever done for Gameshow. The bouncy flowers is what we call them. They're so interesting because there's so many different ways you can run it. My favorite way is when people aren't paying attention. If you go up the center there, and of course I miss it that time on camera, if you run up the center here, you jump once to get here, and then you jump once there and hold space. Because of the way that the slime blocks bounce you, it launches you up and you don't have to like time your jumps or anything. You literally just hit space. Like you could see there, Gregan was in my eyes the whole time, and I had no problem making it because all I did was hold space to get down there. I don't know, this is one of those types of obstacles that I just absolutely love when we pull them off, and it really played out in the episode too. Like it was perfectly balanced. There was the right timing between them, and people wouldn't always get knocked off when they get launched. They would just get launched up and land on another flower sometimes.
Yeah, and in the tech chat burst out in laughter every time someone got flown up in the air.
Yeah. And I think
quite satisfying.
just as a point, I don't really show enough Redstone on the show because it's more of a talk show than anything else, but the way that these flower petals worked is right over there. Basically, I should have paid more attention to what I was breaking there. There we go. Basically, there's a fill replace command that's going on these ones. You see the pink flowers here? They have diamond ore underneath them here, and then the green ones have emerald ore. So can you just go inside there and step on the pressure plates real quick? Just step on the pink one first. So we can see. Yeah, you see there, it gets replaced with redstone and back, and then step on the other one as well. Yeah, so you notice how that one got done with a torch there, but this pink one got done with a redstone block. Do them back to back again so we can watch that. Yeah, so do the emerald one more time. There you go. So I did that so these things wouldn't clash with each other, right? So there's a zone ranging from this diamond block here to the diamond block in this top corner, which encapsulates this middle one as well. And then there's a zone ranging from the lowest place the emerald one can be to the top, and it replaces the diamond ore with the redstone blocks, and then redstone back with diamond ore, and it replaces the emerald ore with torches, or redstone torches, and then back over, and that's how the logic would never get confused. And it's just on such a quick timer there that it manages to flip it up and launch you.
Because the original idea was that these slime things will go up for that split second when someone's trying to jump onto them. So you'd then get this kind of wall blocking them that they'd hit and then fall in. But I don't think I saw it very often. There was like 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, there's only about twice in the game where that happened. But the counter effect is when you time it just a little bit late and the person gets launched straight up in the air.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Just so good. I don't even remember what this obstacle was initially.
It was red and green thing, and they
the changing
red,
platforms
red would change, and if it pressed green, the green would change.
Yep. Just one of those things that wasn't quite as interesting to look at as this, and this is why we kept it. Then we get to this platform here, and this is another interesting redstone thing to talk about. They didn't need to go on this back to back. You could actually jump both or all 3 players down here at the same time, and it still wouldn't break. And yeah, that was my favorite part about the redstone for this game, was the strategy you could take. But we'll talk about strategy in a second. Just real quick while we're on the topic, I'm gonna bring us over right now, and we'll pipe down into the redstone here. I have a little secret button that puts us down below the game. That should work on you too. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the completion logic over here, and it's set up to be used by either team depending on what's going. And this is what this command over here, it works with the scoreboard from the API. That was how the numbers updated. And actually, I had to monitor this game closely because if 2 people jumped onto the pad at once and shot targets at the same time, it would try to place the redstone block here to update the score for both points at the same time, and it would only give you credit for 1 score instead of 2. We had that happen once in testing, and I had the ability to manually override that if it did happen during the gameplay, but it was unnecessary. Yeah, pretty, I don't know, it's a lot of redstone for this game, but it was pretty simple in the way that it worked. Somebody left the game running, there we go. Yeah, I was really happy with how this game turned out, build-wise and redstone-wise, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad the changes happened.
Absolutely. Alright, hey, let's head up in the game. We'll talk about what happened in the episode.
Alright, so it's the finals of the Noxcrew Game Show, and it's Evac Crew versus Ungentlemen, match 2. And Ungentlemen have already got a 1-point lead with the first game. And so, to be honest, Evac Crew are probably going into this thinking, we've got to win this, otherwise we're kind of pretty screwed in a position where they're not going to be able to come back. And Ungentlemen certainly put up a huge fight for it.
Yeah, so they got to go first. And right off the bat, you can see Ungentlemen in it to win it, right? I absolutely love pointing this out. They start out in the spawn here. The timer counts down for it, and immediately they try to bow launch their player out the door to get him onto the platform quicker. He overshot it, but like the pro strats just instantly, they know what the bows are going to be like because they've had the bows in the game show games before, and they're just ready to do it, and they just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just they instantly knew what they had to try. It didn't work, but it was a brilliant strategy.
They're always thinking of new ideas and how they can get that edge over the other team. And interestingly, that bow tactic afterwards, we found out that in the water, if you just did a one-shot up on yourself, you could send yourself flying through the water, and save yourself some time. So it was a fair strategy. It's just the situation they used it in didn't quite work. Another strategy to talk about is how to sabotage in this game.
For sure.
Because there's multiple ways you can do it, because there's only 5 stations. And because the inside of the course, so the sabotage buttons, is shorter than the outside, you can... The most efficient tactic we came up with in testing was just to choose a player and follow them. Because you can keep up with them pretty well the whole way through.
For sure.
And I think both teams kind of did that to a certain extent, but they would often lose a player if they were queuing up or firing at the targets.
Yeah. So
they'd then run over and do the bow spam, and then that would allow the players to get through the first bit really easily. And the bow obviously was the best bit to utilise, because obviously it's the human interaction, and you can keep them pinned down for a while, but you could definitely slow them down by knocking them off at this first bit, or even knocking them off with the explosions.
Yeah, for sure. The explosions part, like, there was a couple times I didn't get to playtest this playing it, but I got to... What we would do is we would just run the course for about a half an hour at a time. It'd be me and Gregan, or me and Sky. I'd just tell Sky, try to sabotage me, and I would run around the course to just see how it felt. And there was a few times where I just got legit stuck on this because I would get blown off into the water or get hit a couple times on the ladder climbing up, and it was tough. I still don't know if this was actually balanced or not, but we sure went with it. Okay, so I wanted to talk about one more thing out of the episode, and it was ultimately, I mean, it was going to be close. Evac Crew was making it close. If they had some really clutch shooting, they might have been able to pull it off, but it was, some pretty bad parkour failing. And I think it was just, I mean, what is it with contestants in the sprint key this season? I'm telling you. But, yeah, there you go, the Evac Crew safety pad. I just think what happened is I forget who did it back to back, but one of them, I think it was T-Rex, must have been the first one, and then Soviet right behind him. T-Rex tried to make the jump and just straight up missed it. I think what happened is the sprinting didn't work. And then the next one, somebody had been shooting, and this one was actually really funny to me because, I'm invisible. I'm in we're in tech mode 1 when we're filming, and I'm sitting right here watching over, I think it must have been Lemon's shoulder as she was shooting here, and I saw a Soviet or whoever was next standing
T-Rex.
here against the glass. Whoever it was that did it first, they were standing here against the glass, and they were trying to just let it release when it, basically, like, they wanted to just hold forward, and then when it broke, just make the jump. And I'm sitting there going, geez, that is not a good idea. That's not going to save you that much time. And if you have any, like, glitch at all over whether your sprint engages or not, or, like, your timing, like, if you don't make that reaction correctly, you're going to fall in the water. And so I had that thought, and then I was like, we'll see what happens. And sure enough, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is it's only a 2-block jump, and it goes down 2 blocks, so you don't even need sprint to make it. It's quite comfortable without sprint. It's
and to be fair, if you are sprinting, you don't even have to hit the jump key. You just fall right
exactly.
down.
The fact that someone missed that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was shocking, and ultimately what decided the game in Ungentleman's favor. I think they still probably would have pulled it out. They put up a decent time. We beat their time quite a few times in testing. There was a couple teams that put up 3-minute times on their completion.
I believe they were after firing at the range before, so you don't have to have those test shots.
That's true as well. They had a little bit of testing involved, but still, like, I mean, we had testing involved in Picture Panic, and we didn't have a time, or not in Picture Panic, in Pipeline Pursuit, and we didn't have a time under 10 minutes when we were testing that game. So,
yeah.
You know, there were times, and at the time on Yeti Set Go as well, we had people who played that race. We were speedrunning that, and Craftman beat our fastest time at the time. I mean, it's since been blown out of the water by a bunch of different people, but at the time, Craftman beat everybody that we had that had cashed in from the Noxcrew.
Yeah, and this is one of the things with testing is some games turn out to be harder after testing, especially when they're tested by new people every time. It makes it a lot more precise, doesn't it? Like,
it's one of the most challenging parts about testing, because we only have so many testers, and when you run them through the same game 5 or 6 times, they start to learn the strategy, and things can appear easy when they're actually not, just because of the practice that they've had. So it's important to have a good mind for balancing the games where you can, and I think we really pulled it off on this one. I really do. Alright, Gregan and I are down in the little mock-up of the course that the contestants were playing around in the lobby before the rules presentation. And so while we're down here, I just wanted to say thanks, Gregan, for coming on the show to talk about Quickfire.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. This game turned out really, really fantastically, and the system that we used here for the targeting part where you shoot and the platform falls out from underneath you, in my opinion, that was a solution to a bunch of other problems we had with some other games, so I'm excited to see that recycled again in the future for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And the circular course as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like folding in the Noxcrew.
We do like folding. It's the Noxcrew Fold Show. Yeah, so final comments about Quickfire.
Well, it was a bit of a shoot and panic time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was a bit of a shoot and panic time. That's a perfect way to wrap it up. So until next time, I've been Avondale. Thanks for watching.
Bye! Missed.
I didn't even see the arrow. There it is. Gotcha. Alright,
that was a quick fire you did there.
Hey! Oh, we forgot to mention the name! Just real quick, I'm sure I'm going to edit this part into the outro of the episode, but we had a code name for this. Originally it was Goldash, and when we turned it into this, we knew that it was a mixture between Shoot 'em Down with the targets, Picture Panic V2 with this dinging platform, and what was the other one?
Bath time and lunchtime.
Bath time because of the
sabotage.
Yeah. So we were calling it Shoot 'em Panic time as our code word in the middle. I wish we had kept that as the name for the game, but Quickfire is really catchy, so I don't mind that either.
Yeah, that's good.